Good day. This is my report for CPU 102 and the title is Learning Styles. So before I will start my discussion, I have a question. How do you learn best? Do you learn best by looking or watching to the presentation presented by the teacher? Or do you learn best by listening attentively even you are not looking at your teacher? Or do you learn best when you do or perform what is being discussed? In my discussion, we will discover the different learning styles. So let's start. What is a learning style? A concept that has been popular since the 1970s. By definition, a learning style is first, learning styles are various approaches or ways of learning. Second, they involve educating methods particular to an individual that are presumed to allow that individual to learn best. And third, most people prefer an identifiable method of interacting with, taking in, and processing stimuli or information. So mao ni ang mga pamaagi para makaton ang usa ka learner. Students learn in different ways. Lahi-lahi sila og pamaagi para makaton. Why is it important to identify each student's style? By acknowledging that there are in fact different modalities of learning, we as educators must also acknowledge that we need to vary the manner in which we present our information in the classroom. For the fact nga na different modalities of learning, teachers flexibility is applied nga i-vary niya iyang mga pamaagi sa pagtudlo. By understanding the primary modality of each our students, we can assist the students in their growth by both teaching to the style and also by helping develop the secondary modalities. If we now discover how a certain student learn properly, maka-assist sa ilang learning development and also helping them in learning pinaagi sa laing modality. The VAC model. The VAC model is divided in three different learning styles depending on the way each one receives and processes the information. This VAC or VAK model comprises three common learning styles. We have visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning. Let us discover one by one. The visual learner. The visual learner. Basic facts. 40% of learners can be verbal, sees words or pictorial, sees pictures. Third, remembers faces but not names. Fourth, vivid imaginations, think in pictures. Facial expression tells what their emotions are. Use color, caution. TV, movies, Nintendo can be addicting. This is the student who is very active during the PowerPoint presentation and maintains focus slide to slide. This student also understands textbook concepts with little needed duplication. This student usually presents written documents that are well constructed and visually pleasing. This type of learner learns best through visual presentations, learns from what he or she sees. Mura siya, to see is to believe. Nana kind nga learner. Strategies for visual learners. To help more visual learners in their studies, they should write things down, look at the person who is talking to you. This will help you to stay focused, study independently rather than in groups, make notes in class, recopy to recall information, make flashcards for vocabulary words, make mind maps, charts, diagram, or graphs. The auditory learner. The auditory learner, basic facts. 30% of learners learn from verbal instruction, need phonics, write lightly and it is not always legible, remember names and forget faces, distracted by outside noise, remember by listening, especially with music, games and pictures are annoying and distracting. This is the student who, although they may not seem interested in the PowerPoint, is listening to every word. This student doesn't tolerate nearby sidebar conversations. Excuse me. This type of learner learns best by listening discussions. Bisan pa og wala ilang mata sa imo ha, as long as naminaw sila, they can answer your questions. Strategies of auditory learners. To help more on auditory learners, he or she should study with a friend or parent to talk about information, read books, articles, notes, and directions out loud. Ape record lectures rather than taking written notes, do oral reports, or turn in tape whenever possible. Kinesthetic hands-on learner. Kinesthetic hands-on learner. Basic facts. 5% of learners learn by doing, not avid reader, poor spellers, remember what was done, doesn't hear things as well, touch is important, impulsive, loves games. These are you, clinical superstars, and conversely may those with the greatest challenge in didactic. Pitfall to avoid: all students who are do not have English as their primary language are kinesthetic learners. They may just not understand what the instructor is saying. These learners are good with practical tests or ipadimuhon sila, they can perform. Ang ilang nakatunan is applied in an action based sa ilang nakita during the delivery of the discussion. Strategies for kinesthetic learners. To help more a kinesthetic learner, he or she should study important information by placing facts on index cards and reading the information aloud while pacing or walking around. Trying studying while lying on the bed or the floor or listening to music. Use brightly colored paper under worksheets or study materials to help you focus. Other learning styles. Fourth learning style. Mixed modality learner. About 25% of the population are true mixed modality learners. Utilize all three of the primary learning styles. These students are probably the easiest to reach. When we identify these learners, they can be useful as mentors to other students dependent on a certain style. This type of learner utilizes his or her visual, auditory, and kinesthetic skills. Tactile. Tactile learners best learn through the sense of touch. These learners love to use their hands to learn new information. The tactile learner will learn best when using their hands. This type of learner is learning things through his or her hands. Individual solitary. Individual solitary learners prefer to work alone and use self-study. Solitary learners are more private, introspective, and independent. They are introverts or learn on their own. Hilig sila mag-inusara og kasagaran nila dili kayo magtabi-tabi og istorya. Groups or social. Groups. Social learners prefer to learn in groups or with other people. Social learners typically prefer learning in groups or classes, or they like to spend much one-on-one time with a teacher or an instructor. They learn best when they interact with people through sharing of ideas or one-on-one sessions sa ilang classmates or maestra. As instructors, getting to know your students is crucial to their success and yours as well. Once you are aware of what makes them tick, you then can use your skills, personality, and experience to reach out of them. We sometimes extended to learners. Gamito nato atong nahibaluan, atong batasan o mga nagian para makarelate ta nila. Understanding and empathy are two of the keys to success. Kailangan dyan nato sila sabton or even put ourselves in their shoe para lang masabtan dyan nato sila. Remember, it all starts with the instructor. Learners depend most of the time to teachers, so we should be well equipped. People learn in different ways, so present material in various ways to accommodate of all learners. Most learners fall into more than one category if something is not working. Try a different approach. Thank you for listening and have a good day. God bless.